In 1324, Mansa Musa embarked on a legendary pilgrimage to Mecca. His caravan stretched across the horizon, dazzling with gold and splendor. He was the ruler of the Mali Empire, a dominion teeming with wealth and power. Controlling over half of the world's gold supply, Mali was nothing short of an economic titan. Mansa Musa's wealth was unfathomable, yet it was his strategic use of assets that truly set him apart. His journey disrupted economies, showcasing the raw power of wealth deployment. As gold flowed freely from his hands, Egypt's markets suffered massive inflation. A single man's wealth led to economic ripple effects felt for over a decade. What's striking is how these same principles echo in today's financial systems. Yet the wealth disparity persists, leaving many without access to their economic potential. This documentary uncovers the lessons buried beneath the sands of time. Venture with us to understand how the past shapes our present financial architecture. Rising to power in 1312, Mansa Musa inherited a vast empire and even greater ambitions. His brother, Abu Bakr, had left behind a legacy of dominance in the gold and salt trade. Mali was already a glittering jewel in West Africa, controlling commerce and influence. The empire's wealth was anchored in the resource-rich lands that Musa was poised to exploit. Under his rule, Mali reached new heights, further cementing its global economic prowess. The empire's trade routes spidered across the Sahara, connecting distant civilizations. It was a network so vast that it shaped entire regions, economies, and cultures. Musa recognized the power of trade and leveraged it to consolidate his influence. Specifically, his command of gold mines fueled Mali's reputation across continents. He understood that controlling supply chains was tantamount to controlling fortunes. The scale of the empire's trade was staggering, rivaling any of today's global markets. By strategically growing Mali's influence, Mansa Musa etched his name into economic history. Mansa Musa's wealth reached astronomical heights with control over vast gold mines. His access to immense resources allowed him to orchestrate an economy that's built on opulence. Gold was the lifeblood of his empire, and he wielded it with masterful precision. The precious metal flowed from West Africa into global markets, changing economic tides. Mali's salt and gold trades were seamless juggernauts connecting multiple civilizations. Mansa Musa's pilgrimage wasn't just a spiritual journey, it was economic theatre. His caravan moved with unparalleled grandiosity, 60,000 people strong and 80 camels deep. As Musa distributed gold across cities, the effect was catastrophic on local economies. Egypt's financial system was particularly frail, suffering from Musa's lavish generosity. For 12 years, gold's devaluation plagued North Africa, a cautionary tale of excess. The spectacle of his journey left an indelible mark on records, maps, and imaginations. Musa's story underscores the intricate interplay between wealth and world affairs. The early adoption of Mansa Musa's economic principles radiated throughout history. He strategically invested in infrastructure, elevating trade and education in Mali. His construction of mosques and universities made Timbuktu a beacon of knowledge. Djinguereba Mosque was more than a religious site. It became an intellectual hub. The beauty of Sankore University lay in its enduring legacy as a center for Islamic scholarship. Mansa Musa's patronage extended beyond borders, connecting cultures and ideologies. Such investments were not mere acts of charity. They were strategic and calculated. Education and trade were intertwined, nourishing Mali's prosperity and relevance. He understood elevating his empire meant empowering its people with knowledge. By fostering trade networks, Musa ensured Mali's influence extended far and wide. Investments in culture and education sowed the seeds of long-term wealth and power. Mali's thriving intellectual ecosystem was a testament to Musa's visionary leadership. The mechanism of Mansa Musa's wealth perpetuated through calculated generosity. His pilgrimage to Mecca was a conscious display of power and benevolence. Distributed gold inundated local economies, influencing perceptions and alliances. The ripple effect extended deep into political and financial infrastructures. Mansa Musa's philanthropic strategies were rooted in creating loyalty and fear. The caravans moved like clockwork, employing 12,000 slaves and 80 camels. His system relied heavily on human resources, showcasing wealth in staggering terms. While emasculating Egypt's currency with gold, his empire's wealth remained intact. The mechanism was not just to show strength, but to expand influence through generosity. Every gift given during the pilgrimage was a calculated move towards cementing ties. Mansa Musa's legacy was intricately tied to how he wielded the wealth to enrich and ensure loyalty. The mechanics of his actions wrote a chapter in the annals of power dynamics. Acceleration of Mansa Musa's wealth was exemplified by his swift economic maneuvers. The inflation crisis he triggered in North Africa serves as a historical case study. Mali's wealth circulated through relentless trade, expanding continuously across regions. Musa's wealth management reflected a dynamic understanding of global influence. Control of gold exports allowed Mali to dictate terms with trading partners worldwide. The pilgrim's reverence bloomed into economic dependency of the surrounding regions. His caravan's impact was a reminder of the vastness of his wealth and ambitions. Trade routes expanded under his eyes, further entrenching Mali's strategic position. Each trading interaction reinforced Mali's clout in the bustling trans-Saharan commerce. As Musa stabilized his economic grip, he engineered a shift in power perception. Through sound investment and methodical expansion, his wealth seemed boundless. Mansa Musa served as the personification of the fast-moving economic advancement. Normalization of wealth distribution was among Mansa Musa's lasting impacts on history. The economic cautionary tale he left was one of balance between power and extravagance. His spending made Timbuktu and Mali thrive as centers for trade and education. Giving extravagantly during his pilgrimage was both inspiring and disastrous. His wealth indirectly taught lessons about inflation and localized economic collapse. Mali stabilized as Musa returned, having invested in lasting infrastructure. The empire became a hub for scholars, traders, and adventurers from around the world. Mansa Musa's actions brought about a blend of prosperity and cautionary tales. Economic resilience and vulnerability were lessons echoed through generations. Mali's historical influence in shaping trade still resonates in financial discussions. The normalization of his wealth showcased the complex dynamics between giving and maintaining. Boundaries between wealth distribution and preservation became starkly visible under his reign. The scale of Mansa Musa's wealth was mythic, an awe-inspiring testament to his era. His caravans moved like vast armies across the golden sands of the Sahara. The wealth he wielded redefined the narrative of power and influence in the medieval world. Mali's dominance in gold production made its riches seem infinite to contemporaries. A single journey to Mecca shifted the economic equilibrium of entire regions. Musa's empire stretched into territories that envied his perceived boundless wealth. The scale of his giving revealed the stark disparities in wealth distribution. Renowned maps depicted Mali as a land synonymous with gold, a treasure trove unmatched. Mansa Musa's legacy defied common economic understanding of value and resources. His life and achievements became a template for opulence and its worldly impact. Documentary accounts portray the scope of his influence as legendary yet cautionary. The sheer magnitude of his wealth keeps inspiring and provoking economic discourse. The power centers of Mansa Musa's empire lay at the intersection of trade and culture. Musa understood the intricate ties between resources and political influence. The consolidation of power within Mali revolved around control of gold and salt. It wasn't just about resource management, it was about strategic dominance. Timbuktu became a neural center, crucial in the framework of transcontinental commerce. Mali's trade routes were arteries of economic lifeblood connecting distant worlds. Musa's governance style married economic strategy with cultural enrichment. Social hierarchies were maintained by distributing wealth to reinforce loyalty. Power dynamics within the empire were deftly managed through calculated patronage. Empire's constructs reflected both heady prosperity and potential vulnerability. Acknowledging these power centers sheds light on the mechanisms driving empires. The apprehension of power's fragility becomes essential in understanding its maintenance. Points of fragility in Mansa Musa's economic empire were visible yet nuanced. The inflation crisis following his pilgrimage displayed the volatile nature of wealth distribution. Economic dependence on gold revealed vulnerabilities in the face of unchecked generosity. Mali's opulence could disguise potential weaknesses looming beneath the surface. The empire's success hinged on sustained control over trade routes and resources. Mansa Musa's wealth was both a boon and a liability in the context of global perceptions. While controlling vast assets, the empire remained susceptible to market fluctuations. The price of strategic benevolence was an economy on the edge of inflationary collapse. Points of fragility served as reminders of the need for cautious resource management. Mali's wealth exposed the fine line between commendable generosity and economic instability. Recognizing potential weaknesses fosters insight into the nature of power itself. Understanding fragility unveils deeper truths about wealth's double-edged sword. Exposure and stress tested Mali's economic strongholds under Mansa Musa's reign. The palpable strain on economies surrounding his pilgrimage brought hard lessons to light. Political influence was a double-edged sword wielded with wealth and foresight. The shifts in gold value post-pilgrimage illustrated economic elasticity and brittleness. Mali's prominence put it at the mercy of global market perceptions and reactions. The pilgrimage displayed strategic genius, but also triggered economic tremors beneath. Trading partners felt the shockwaves, rippling through supply chains and currency valuations. Exposure to external pressures made Mali learn from its economic misadventures. Political and financial stress tested the frameworks that sustained the empire's prosperity. Mansa Musa's legacy is one of wealth's triumphs and the lessons amid adversity. Studying these stress points offers insight into handling modern financial constraints. Historical parallels between Musa's time and today provide timeless economic wisdom. Why it still shapes the present explores Mansa Musa's vast influence on modern systems. The timeless principles of wealth management still echo in today's financial architecture. Mansa Musa owned production, strategically controlling his empire's economic destiny. His investments in knowledge and infrastructure laid foundations for enduring prosperity. Modern billionaires replicate his strategies through asset control and adaptability. Exploring Musa's influence reveals insights into the sustainable wealth paradigm. Techniques for strategic giving remain as potent now as in the 14th century. Understanding Mansa Musa's era illuminates the hidden guides to financial empowerment. His legacy stands as a monument to wealth creation and control free from temporal bounds. Present systems reflect lessons learned from both mastery and missteps of the past's elite. The principles of wealth and wisdom endure, bridging historical and contemporary narratives.